Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 3.0. In the previous episode we have finally launched the nuclear reactor. At the moment I'm still fiddling around with the timings and just how much enriched uranium I should give it. My biggest concern at the moment is that I'm actually not getting the heat distribution I was hoping for. Everything is a little bit too cold for my steam turbines to produce proper energy. And right now I'm fiddling around with only feeding it 1 kilogram of uranium every few seconds, or 10 kilograms every cycle, or 60 kilograms every 6 cycles. I want to know if that makes a difference. But right now I'm not too happy, which is also why we need to send our rocket here. Once again, I already did it. I'm just waiting for Gossman to man the ship, and then we are going for some more petroleum to feed our petroleum generators. So unfortunately that is something we'll have to do. In today's episode I would also like to finish the petroleum boiler we started here for the main planetoid. And basically my goal is to have a little automated rocket that will always go when I don't have enough oil ready for the petroleum boiler. And then we can use the petroleum to take over for the steam turbine system here at the magma layer. I mean, right now this is still keeping up quite well, much better than the nuclear reactor. Yeah, I mean, what's up with that? Do we just have too many steam turbines, maybe? Maybe we have too much steam? That is also a possibility, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, darn it, we're still dependent on these freaking petroleum generators. I don't like that. Come on, kick in! Let's now maybe take care of the petroleum boiler. First of all, I would like to see a auto sweeper here. That's where I had it. We then have a bunch of mafic rock, something like that, with some metal tiles. Those can be iron. 2 metal tiles here as well. We also have some shipping, let's see, conveyor loader. That needs to be made out of steel as it is receiving the hot igneous rock. And then finally I need the space for a power transformer. Hopefully that guy actually fits in here. Just about, but it's gonna be complicated to actually feed this with power. Well, I guess we just have to do it from the side. Okay, it should be possible. So we'll power it from the sides like so. And of course we use the heavy watt conductive wire this time around. We then go straight down and provide power to all the machinery. Right here we would still have the robo miner. And then finally we would be able to close this off. Yeah, looks about right. At the bottom here, I'm gonna have a steel tile, ceramic tile, and yeah, we probably want 2 more steel tiles here, and then a steel mechanized door. We can wrap this up with some ceramic, and that should be fine. I'm also gonna finish off the wallpaper there. We also already know there's gonna be the liquid vent to drop the oil, and right here is where I would have the robo miner. Now we have everything in place, I just need to find ways to actually build this stuff. Finally, at the bottom here, we need our steam room. This would go right there. Hook this up to our aluminium wire. Then here at the bottom, of course, our steam room. And there's gonna be a tiny vacuum shaft right there. Of course, with our heavy watt conductive joint plate, everything connected through wires. We'll be needing a mini gas pump to get things out of there. A little temporary vent and pipe. That goes there. Finally, I'm also gonna need a liquid reservoir for the cooling loop. We're gonna be adding an aqua tuner right here together with the sensor. Where would I find that? Thermo Sensor right there. Obviously our mandatory automation wire. We'll have the liquid vent for the steam turbine here on the top. Give me some insulated pipes and we'll bring this directly over. Finally, we're gonna need something to cool down the igneous rock, so a conveyor rail thermo sensor that I'm gonna place right there, together with a steel conveyor shutoff that I'm gonna place right here. Yeah, that looks about right. Now I just have to make sure that I can actually get inside of the contraptions and build everything, so maybe a ladder right here would help. And I'm actually gonna grant myself access into this bit as well. And maybe just temporarily we'll have to get rid of some of that shebang too. But yeah, it is supposed to be the same exact thing we built over here. Maybe we can make the logic a little less complicated. But in the end, as long as it's working, I'm pretty happy. I think the next thing we should already set up is the piping. That basically means we're gonna be shipping in oil from this side and we want to use it initially to start cooling things down already. So we'll have a set of aluminium pipes right here. Gonna need some bridges here and there because right here I want to pump out the petroleum. So this would be the input for the oil, output for the petroleum. Then we go up to our first cooling level, which is gonna be this one here, and everywhere the liquid will touch the floor, I'm gonna have some radiant pipes. And then we can just connect them using the insulated pipes, and they're gonna be going right into the liquid vent. Let's also do the aqua tuner loop from the center into the input. We're gonna do the bypass here and then go up, have a little bridge going from the bypass to the regular output. We then go up a little bit in order to cool down the steam turbine here. That means I'm gonna need to replace this with a bridge right there. And we can use this space now to cool things down. We then go into the liquid reservoir. We then come out of the liquid reservoir and do some cooling. First of all, this needs to be cooled, right? Yeah, we just use radiant pipes nearby the metal blocks. As a matter of fact, this whole upper part here could be radiant pipes, if you ask me. And then this one here and those two pipes here as well. And then we simply come down again above the liquid reservoir. We hop over this pipe. And this is gonna allow us to easily go back into the sensor. So just one more bridge and we're done with that part as well. I'm gonna be wallpapering everything up, so I definitely don't forget about that. Yeah, those are quite a few building commands, I have to say. Now we have all of this hydrogen here as well. But yeah, I think apart from the automation, this was mostly everything we had to do. Should we do the automation? Let me see. I wanna have a quick look again. This goes there and what? Okay. Some automation is going to be simpler than the other. Let's start with a gas element sensor. No, that's the wrong one. I want the liquid one. There it is. Liquid element sensor. This will move into a NOT gate and afterwards into a filter gate. Right here. We need some automation wires. Connect that, and that. I'm gonna be doing the settings once we have everything installed. Then from the hydro sensor, I think we can move over. Let's move through the wall here. And this needs to go into a different type of sensor, the Thermo Sensor that I'm gonna have here. The Thermo Sensor is also gonna be hooked up to the door, and here we need to switch to steel. So that goes to the door as well. And it will then go over into another filter gate. A steel filter gate I'm gonna put here. You know what? I just realized something. We can make things a lot easier. Yeah, let me get rid of that automation. I have a better idea. Let me come up with the concept maybe. I'm gonna let them build a little bit, I would say. And then I just had another idea from actually building this shebang here. What we could do is simplify things by exchanging the sensor I have behind this with a thermo sensor instead of the hydro sensor. So we're gonna make it kind of temperature dependent whether or not we are picking things up, and then with a little delay we can have the next batch of magma coming in. This would leave the liquid sensor here unchanged with getting new oil, but the thermo sensor doesn't need to be here. We can have the thermo sensor directly here behind the tile. The reason I didn't build it in the first place like this is because I assumed the thermo sensor is not working when it is submerged, but it is indeed working. So give me a couple of minutes to start building on that and I'm gonna be right back. Alrighty, we're almost done with the build here. I already made a liquid lock here. We'll have to open this up in order to be able to reach everything, probably. Then we will be able to go into this room, so we can close this. Eventually we'll have to close that too, so I'm gonna open up another part here and we'll just build everything backwards. But essentially the whole automation is now this. It is very simple. We have a thermo sensor here that is gonna measure the temperature. If we have anything above 400 degrees, this is gonna send a red signal. The red signal is going through here, therefore the RoboMiner is gonna be shut off. It is then going through here, shutting this wire off, therefore closing this door, and it is also going through a NOT gate and then a filter gate in order to open up this door. Now once we reach the critical 400 degrees, we are gonna send a green signal and therefore the RoboMiner is gonna turn this on. You know, I just noticed, what does the thermo sensor do once we actually mined the tile up? Then there is going to be a vacuum. Is it going to change the state or is it going to remain the same? That would actually make the thermo sensor less practical than the hydro sensor. We can test that here on CrewDeal by setting up a thermo sensor. Actually, we don't even have to break through. I can set up the thermo sensor right there. I just needed a place with a vacuum. There it is. Let's say we want to send a green signal if we are below 400 degrees. So the vacuum temperature is minus 273 degrees. So it's always going to be below 400 degrees. But is that the same if it gets heated up by something? You know, we can maybe test it right here. If I get this to be submerged in liquid, then it should show the temperature of the liquid, which is 30 degrees. We set this to below 400 degrees, and now I can remove this block again and put it into a vacuum. So now it sends a green signal, that is good, but then the RoboMiner would mine this block. And of course it is now probably sleep time here. Yeah, Liam will only do that the next time. Oh, there we go. Let's see that happen. Gosh, save. And the temperature seems to remain the same, even though now it is in a vacuum. So it just memorizes whatever temperature it had last. That is actually exactly what we wanted to see. So let's continue with the tour. When new magma drops down because of the mechanism I explained previously, then it gets hot again, and therefore this would turn red. The red would instantly go through here, through the NOT gate, and then it will be halted right here for a couple of seconds before the door turns green and opens. And in the meantime, this shuts off immediately to red, so this door closes as soon as the magma drops down. And that obviously is much more simplified. Another thing I want to do is set this to above 500 kilograms. And when that has happened, I'm gonna send the signal up. So it's gonna go all the way through here, and it's actually gonna be joining this signal here to open up the door. So when we do reach this level with the petroleum, then we just want to shut off the petroleum generator altogether. And the easiest way to do that is with the door. At the moment, I have another problem. My cooling loop cannot keep up. I would say we did get the supercoolant just in the nick of time. It is time to replace this cooling loop with supercoolant to be able to keep up. One aqua tuner with polluted water, I believe, could support 6 steam turbines, or maybe it's even less. I don't know the numbers anymore, but we can only support this many steam turbines functioning 100% of the time if we have a better coolant solution with our aqua tuner. In order to do that, I built a pipe all the way from the top to the bottom. In order to get access to the supercoolant, we can then perform a fluid exchange, hopefully, and get that situation resolved. Another project I want to take on is exchange this water here with supercoolant. I did do the test in my test world, and it is actually helping. I already got my bottle emptier here, and what I expect is that supercoolant is heavier, so it is going to be dropped down here at the bottom, and we can just expel the water towards the top, giving this hopefully a nice fluid exchange. We have a tiny amount of supercoolant here, but it is not enough. We need to send over some more, so I rebuilt the pipe that is going up right here. Oh, I did not finish it quite yet, but my point is we are going to send over as much supercoolant as is needed to fill this up. And we can easily do so, including the cooling loop down in the magma room. And by the way, just if you were curious, the base is now back to normal. Also thanks to the supercoolant and storing the igneous rock and obsidian outside of the base. How wonderful, my supercoolant is finally flowing. It's gonna go all the way down. Yeah, all the pipes have been built. In this case, I kind of want to set up a bridge here, so eventually I can hook this up. And while this is happening, we can start draining the loop here. I do not mind if this actually fills up with more steam, so we're just going to get rid of the polluted water this way. You know, it is at 95 degrees anyway, so nothing really we want to keep. I'm still letting it run through the loop because I'm afraid that the water I have inside of here is gonna evaporate into steam. As a matter of fact, yeah, no, right now it is below 100 degrees, but it is really close. We have some steam in here, which is why I should not open this up. Yeah, and let's close this again. I'm so glad nothing happened. Okay, it really looks like we do not have enough power. What's happening here? Oh no. Oh man, I'm now actually really glad we're doing this. I think it needs to happen faster because we already ran out of power. We don't have the power. I can just get rid of everything. I'm now gonna hook this up, but only to get the supercoolant packets ready. I want them nearby before the loop runs out. Yes, here they are. You just hang around here, please. There, it happened. Okay, let's freaking hook this up. Get the supercoolant in the joint. It's gonna run through. I do want a little layer of supercoolant here inside the steam room for better heat distribution. So what I'm gonna do is just drop a little something. How much are we gonna need to fill this up? I don't think too much. That might already be enough. So we're gonna cut this and now join with the normal cooling loop. And now I just want to see this thin layer distributed amongst the entire row. And at the same time, we're now cooling down the steam turbines so they can properly work again and give us the power that we so desperately need. Yes, that is definitely gonna help. Let's check it out. Now, I would like to avoid using more supercoolant than necessary. It doesn't really matter how cool this gets. We don't need to regulate the temperature, so it can also vary a little bit, which means we do not need the liquid reservoir. So I think what I'm gonna do is just hook this up here, instead of it going up. And now we have this infinite loop going on without the liquid reservoir, which is great. There is, oh no, there's still 20 kilograms in there. I guess we just deconstruct it and then we can take the supercoolant upstairs again. But yeah, overall, I think this is gonna help tremendously. We should now see these guys turning yellow, green, and eventually blue. We can judge whether or not this is working by just looking at the output here. Just before it gets into the aqua tuner, we can see the temperatures are gradually going down. Well, at least they go like 2 steps down and 1 step up again, but it looks functional. Good, then let's solve the next emergency. I want you guys to finish the piping here so we can finally send over some more supercoolant to Gloani. We do have problems with the water here. It always takes ages for the water to cool down, and as a result we are accumulating quite a bit of metal here that will have to cool down eventually, and it's just gonna get crazier as of this point. But yeah, unfortunately the research reactor is not exactly doing or performing as I wanted it to. After recording this, I'm probably gonna go through your comments again. I haven't read all the comments from the previous episode. Maybe there are a few tips, but you can let me know why this is happening. Do I have too much steam in here? Not enough temp shift plates? What exactly is the problem? Wonderful. There is my supercoolant finally, so we can ship the first load, and then I'm just gonna continue on shipping it. 2 times 400 kilograms will cover approximately 1 tile. And we're gonna need at least 10 tiles plus a little something. So we'll be sending over quite a bit. And here is the supercoolant arriving. Hassan, of course, is immediately taking care of it. And yes, indeed, it accumulates at the bottom. This is good. Now, 2 things can actually happen here. Either it is just staying in this tile until it overpressures, or some of the liquid is gonna spill. But I fear we kind of have to provoke this ourselves. So maybe I'm gonna exchange some of these tiles. If we do a quick swap here with this tile, we should be able to get the supercoolant over. Oh, please work. Please, 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 please. Not really. But we did get rid of a little bit of water. I think if we do this a couple of times, it might work. Go, 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 Hassan! No. Go, 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 Hassan! Yes! Nice. And will you look at that, my steam turbines are back to normal. I just love supercoolant. Was also okay to find solutions without it, but now that our systems get more demanding, it is just necessary. Now, I feel like we're getting to the point where it's getting dangerous. You know, we are above 1,000 kilograms. Yeah, I figured this would be a little bit easier, but as long as we don't have the lower row filled up, I'm just gonna remove this insulated tile so we can drain most of the water this way. And there we go. No. Okay, no problem. We can maybe start sweeping this up. No, it's already expanding. But to be fair, we did get rid of most of the water now. Maybe I can also help it by using 2 different bottle emptiers. Okay, nice. I think I was able to save all the supercoolant that got spilled. And I guess I'm gonna be right back once I made the actual exchange. Behind the scenes, I did set this sensor to minus 50 degrees just because I can with the supercoolant, but I totally forgot that I have some water nearby here. So now that this is pretty cold, I would suggest we're gonna drop some supercoolant. Maybe let's do it over here where we actually have the space. Also a little bottle emptier here. I'm gonna drop the supercoolant, and the rest of the ice we can just pick up, I guess. But I need to hurry up with that, as currently we have no medium to actually cool down the steam turbines. You know, looking at this, the supercoolant made it slightly worse because the supercoolant isn't as hot as the steam surrounding it. So that is actually an interesting experience. I'm gonna take that away again. Maybe we could have solved it with temp shift plates, but it was better working without the supercoolant. There we go, 1 load of 200 kilograms. I'm gonna stop it afterwards. we don't need any more than that. And now we just need to wait for the water to turn into ice again. We can pick it up and the supercoolant is gonna distribute. And of course, in the meantime, we pick up all the supercoolant here at the bottom and wait, what happened? Ah, the system was just disabled. There we go. Now the steam should heat up properly again and the steam turbines should go to full. Good. In the meantime, on Glowani, I will never do such an exchange again. I had to improvise with a whole bunch of bottle emptiers to make this work. And in the end, I decided, you know, why not have 2 layers of supercoolant here with various amounts of kilograms and then a thin layer of water on top of it. This way we still get quite a bit of cooling going. So that is exactly what we're gonna do because, well, the next time I would be doing this, I would first drain the entirety of the pool before doing anything else. Maybe we want to keep that ladder. And well, you look at that, that is already going a lot better. I had to be a little bit selective on how I do this. Now that the system is working better again, I think I'm gonna make the break right there. So all of these pockets go to the right, because of course if the pipe gets blocked for these guys, they are not gonna contribute. But it seems to be working slightly better now. So actually maybe while this is happening, we do something like this, so the packets all go into the other direction. The problem is if we use up these pipes, which I actually did one time, then we are introducing new water into the system, which is over time just gonna increase the amount of steam we have in here too much. But yeah, there we go. In the meantime, the petroleum boiler should also be ready. We have everything built and right now I'm just pumping it all out. So once that has happened, we can finish the rest of the things here. One thing I noticed that I don't even need are those cables because the pump will get shut off whenever we don't need to export the petroleum. However, what we could do is have another hydro sensor. So maybe we keep this cable and we hook it up to this sensor. What this is going to make sure is that we have at least a little something in here before we start pumping it out. That is going to help with the initial cooling / heating up of the oil. But yeah, the next time we should be able to get this going. What else? We have plenty of supercoolant still. I'm actually really surprised. And fullerene, how is our fullerene looking? We still have 1,300 kilograms, so that is quite a bit. We don't need to hurry up with that. So I think I'm going to be focusing on exploring some more in the next episode, making sure that everything goes well with the nuclear reactor. And other than that, I would say thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.